Welcome into the Week 5 recap. What a week. Wow. That was one of the craziest fantasy weeks that I've ever seen. And so let's just get right into the recap. Start with redraft. The Washington Rednecks 2-3 defeat Bills Mafia 1-4, 139.22 to 137.78. In this battle of 1 and 3 teams, the Washington Rednecks pull off a close victory over struggling Bills Mafia. Josh Allen and Nick Chubb lead the way for the Rednecks, totaling a combined 59.75 points. This one would have been scary, though, had the Rednecks not played it smart. Up by less than 2 points, they benched the Ravens' defense on Monday Night Football to leave their starting roster with only 9 instead of 10. This was the right decision, as up until the miraculous field goal block from the Ravens' defense, the Rednecks would have lost the game as Baltimore had -2 points. For Bills Mafia, a second all-time trip to the lake will need to be avoided. Not pulling off the victory after Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert drops 42.82 points is highly concerning. Nicos League 3-2 defeats Scoob the Delinquent 1-4, 179.51 to 154.2. Nicos League takes home the crown for the most points of the week in their rout of Scoob the Delinquent. The 179.51 tally is good for the second highest score this year and 7th highest regular season score of all time. Leading the way was none other than Tom Brady, posting 37.74 points in the Buccaneers' 45-17 win over the Dolphins in Tampa. Scoob wasn't going down without a fight, though. With 4 players with 20-plus points, Scoob scores a respectable 154.2, good enough for the 4th highest score of the week. No pun intended, 4-1 defeats Gumpy Glizzy's 2-3, 165.8 to 135.33. No pun intended extends their all-time lead over Gumpy Glizzy's to 3, setting the record at 6-3. They do it in emphatic fashion, scoring over 165 points, good enough for the most points scored in any one-week matchup between these two teams in league history. Lamar Jackson does the dirty work on Monday Night Football, accounting for 504 yards of total offense in the Ravens' stunning win over the Colts. Gumpy Glizzy's couldn't catch a break and ends up with the lowest score of the week. We do not have any stats on this, but Gumpy Glizzy's 135.33 is more than likely the highest ever lowest score of any given week. If that doesn't tell you something about how crazy this week was, I don't know what does. Leftist Tears 4-1 defeats Ben Steeler Virginity 3-2, 156.58 to 139.07. After getting dominated in the 4 p.m. window on Sunday, Leftist Tears needed Mark Andrews to step up and deliver what would be his season high in points against the Colts on Monday night. Mark delivered, not only smashing his season high, but also becoming Leftist Tears' highest overall score this week, and subsequently improving their record to 4-1. Ben Steeler Virginity takes their second loss to Leftist Tears and becomes one of the first teams to give up a tiebreaker to another in-conference squad. Not all bad, though, as Austin Eckler and Ezekiel Elliott combine for over 50 points and look stronger than ever. Ben Steeler Virginity will be looking to bounce back next week against a flaming hot Nicos League. Which brings us, great segue, into our Week 6 game of the week, Nicos League 3-2 versus Ben Steeler Virginity 3-2. This will be a big one to determine seeding in the O.J. Simpson Conference. One big thing to watch in this matchup is Thursday night as Nicos League's quarterbacks face off against each other in Philadelphia. Our Week 6 power rankings starting from the bottom at number 8, not moving, Scoob the Delinquent. At number 7, moving down 1 spot, Bills Mafia. At number 6, moving up 1 spot, the Washington Rednecks. At number 5, staying put, Gumpy Glizzies. At number 4, staying put, no pun intended. At number 3, moving down 1 spot, Ben Steeler Virginity. At number 2, moving up 1 spot, Nicos League. And at number 1, staying put, Leftist Tears. We move into Dynasty. Gump Dynasty 2-3 defeats Prestige Worldwide 4-1, 139.99 to 127.08. We've officially run into the league's worst nightmare. Gump Dynasty pulls off an improbable victory despite scoring the second least amount of points this week. There was only one possible team that they could beat, and luckily they drew them. That team was previously undefeated Prestige Worldwide, who ended up with the least amount of points scored this week. Prestige Worldwide is hurting badly. Literally. Despite the 4-1 record, star running back Dalvin Cook has been absent for 2 of 5 weeks this season with no return date specified. Previously number 1 tight end Rob Gronkowski has multiple fractured ribs and is out indefinitely. Newly drafted rookie wide receiver Rashad Bateman is getting his NFL debut delayed even longer than previously scheduled. And on top of it all, starting quarterback Russell Wilson now has screws inside of a finger in his throwing hand and will miss the rest of the fantasy regular season. Even at 4-1, it's hard to see a path for prestige worldwide. Nico's Dream Team 2-3 defeats Cumber Dynasty 4-1, 178.71 to 144.26. The second of 2 previously undefeated teams is undefeated no more, as reigning champs Cumber Dynasty lose their first game since Week 8 of the 2020 season. To put that into perspective, that's 10 straight games unbeaten, spanning a total of 344 days. So it's safe to say this isn't natural for Cumber Dynasty. This game was decided on Monday night, with Lamar Jackson and Jonathan Taylor needing to combine for 37.09 points for Nico's Dream Team to win the game. Though this was a tough ask, they demolished that number, totaling a whopping 71.53 points between the two of them. Nico's Dream Team also had Kenny Golladay produce 0 points, so the remarkable 178.71 mark was all from only 9 players. Stratton Oakmont Inc. 1-4 defeats Sneezy Raccoon 74 2-3, 167.22 to 141.11. Round of applause for Mason, everybody. The surprises don't stop this week. I guess when unranked Texas A&M beats top-ranked Alabama the night before, you're likely in for some crazy stuff the day of. This result finally rids the league of winless teams, with Stratton Oakmont Inc. securing their first win of the season. This one also came down to Monday Night Football, as Stratton Oakmont Inc. needed Mark Andrews to score around 8 points to secure the victory. And score he did. Andrews scored so much it made the game look like a blowout, and Sneezy Raccoon 74 was on the wrong end of it. Sneezy Raccoon 74 is trending downwards, and they'll look to bounce back against Nico's Dream Team next week. The Scoop Empire 2-3 defeats I Am They 3-2, 162.15 to 161.55. The reason we play fantasy football. The joy of victory, the agony of defeat. The intense drama greater than any well-directed film could ever give you. That experience was lived on Monday night for these two teams, as I Am They seemed to have the win secured, with Marquise Brown needing 26.16 points to snatch it from them. With a 0 on the board all the way until late in the third quarter, Marquise Brown pulled off the unthinkable. A 43-yard bomb into the end zone with seconds ticking down in the third quarter captured the first wave of points. Then, when the Ravens miraculously forced overtime with Mark Andrews catching his second touchdown, the script couldn't have been written any better. The Scoop Empire, not having led the game for the entirety of Monday Night Football, pulls off the victory by 0.6 points on what was quite literally the final play of the entire week. Marquise Brown on the goal line with the 5-yard touchdown reception to put a cap on what was one of the craziest fantasy weeks in recent memory. Our Week 6 game of the week is I Am They 3-2 versus Gump Dynasty 2-3. After the heartbreaking loss, I Am They will look to bounce back in this extremely important non-conference matchup. Halfway through the regular season, one team will be looking to stay better than 500 and the other will be looking to get to 500. And finally, our Week 6 power rankings for Dynasty. Starting at the bottom at number 8, staying put, is Stratton Oakmont Inc. At number 7, not moving, the Scoop Empire. At number 6, moving down 2 spots, Prestige Worldwide. At number 5, moving up a spot, Nico's Dream Team. At number 4, moving up a spot, Gump Dynasty. At number 3, staying put, Sneezy Raccoon 74. At number 2, staying put, I Am They. And retaining the number 1 spot, even with the loss, our reigning champs, Cumber Dynasty. Thanks for listening in to the Week 5 recap. What an absolutely insane week. I would say let's hope for more of it Week 6, but I don't know if my heart can take it. But we will see you then, no matter what happens.